they want to do their job and they want to go back, and that's how it was for years. We simply took that option away. You've got to realize that we have an entire community of people that want to come here
Yes.
and work legally, and they simply don't have the avenue to do that.
How do you want to do that? Let's talk about health care.
We pay into that union,
Of course you
mind
do.
you.
You pay
Yes,
for it.
I pay for it.
You pay
Yes.
for it. We've already got a system that works. Why are we trying to invent another one?
Because we needed to take care of people that didn't have the care that they needed.
You believe that as a freshman congressman,
Yes.
you can waltz into Washington, use this logic, work with the Border Patrol, work with the senators, everybody across the aisle,
Yes.
Republicans and Democrats, and get this system working. Hello, everybody. I'm Patty Patane. Meet the power of intelligent conversation. As most of you know, I do a program called What Have You Done for Us Lately? And I invite politicians, people that work for us, you know, those people we elect, that we pay, that we hire to do a job for us, invite them to come on my show, any of the local electeds, and we simply ask them, what are you doing with our money? And so when I get a phone call from someone who wants to be employed by us, I can always, if I choose, invite them on for a job interview. And basically, this is what we're doing today. There is a very nice adult woman. A lot of those people running for office today, lots of women. Her name is Kimberlin, not Kimberly. It is Kimberlin, Kimberlin. Middle name Brown, obviously her maiden name, and then she's got married, so Pelzer, Pelzer. So Kimberlin is easy to remember. She wants your vote. She wants to go to Congress. We have a gentleman in there now, a doctor, who has held the office for a few years. And all I want to know is, Kimberlin, one, what makes you so smart that you can just pick up and go to Washington and work for us? What kind of background? I understand you own a few businesses. That's very important to us.
I do. I own
You
several
know how to
businesses.
sign a check? You know how to take all the taxes out for people?
Exactly.
So let's talk about your business experience.
Okay.
I am very interested in helping people come on my show and help us to understand it's not as easy as it looks.
No,
it really isn't. And
it's a lot of work. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt about it. Now, being in business for yourself, let's go down what you've indicated to me that you and your husband, your businesses that you both own.
Right.
Your children, two boys?
I have a son and a daughter.
A son and a daughter.
Yes.
A 20-year-old and a 24-year-old.
Yes.
Okay. And the husband, Mr. Wonderful, he runs.
Have you been talking to him?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
He what's his first name?
Gary.
Gary.
Yes.
Gary Pelzer.
Yes.
Okay, Gary. I take it, helps with the family businesses.
He absolutely does.
Okay.
He does.
So it's been a very team effort. You help build every business you own today.
Absolutely.
From the ground up.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about, you have 3 convenience stores. You sell gas at a pump, or you something like that, or just a convenience store?
At one of my locations, I do sell gas, actually, but most of them are convenience stores. And we sell retail items, and then people that want to come in and grab a sandwich or a Coca-Cola, they can do that as well.
So you run a business?
Yes.
Several of them?
Yes.
Now you also own 7, count them, 7 boat marinas.
Yes.
In Mission Bay. That's in San Diego.
We have some in Mission Bay, and we have some in San Diego Bay
San Diego
as well.
Bay.
Yes,
Okay.
both.
I'm not big on the ocean.
No,
so
it's
I'm
okay.
born and raised in the
We're
desert.
a little far away from the
Little
ocean
far away
today.
From the ocean, but
yes,
that's 7 marinas you own and operate.
Yes.
Okay. What I like about this one, you and your family are farmers.
Yes.
You're avocado farmers.
Yes.
I read an article. No, it wasn't an article, as a matter of fact. It was a cartoon, a political cartoon.
Okay.
And it showed a mature man with his mature wife standing in front of a grocery store vegetable area, and there was one carrot it's about the immigration thing. So there was one carrot in the thing, and they wondered where all the food went.
Right.
And then I read an article not too long after that involved avocado farmers in Temecula, of which you are one. And this particular farmer was saying, I can't get anybody to pick my avocados. I mean, this border problem has ripped all my avocado pickers. They're gone. Don't have any of them. And so obviously when you mentioned that you had a little solution for this, I was very interested because I really like my avocados. But all totaled, how many people between the convenience stores, the boat docks, and the avocado ranch, how many people do you employ on a regular basis? Annually?
On a regular basis, over 150 people in Southern California, 180 during our busiest time of year. And I also have a design business, financial services, laundromats, and it takes people to run all of those businesses.
So you know how to create jobs?
I do. I've been doing it for years.
Okay. And so she knows how to count. She knows how to not waste our tax dollars because she has to pay those dollars out every single week. When you sign somebody's paycheck, you see how much you're taking out of their pay in order to pay their taxes,
Yep.
which you're responsible for.
I am.
So apparently you're supposed to have a pretty good grip on business.
I'd like to think so. Our
Okay.
businesses are fairly successful, so I think that's an indication.
Okay, well, we got some issues that aren't so successful right now.
Right.
And as long as you have a solution, we're going to talk about them.
Okay.
We have an issue with illegal immigration, but we also have a problem that we need workers. Show me anybody in any neighborhood in the Coachella Valley
Right.
that has not got a family history of working in our fields, and show me that they'll go out and get a job in the fields. Doesn't happen.
It
Does
doesn't happen like it used to. There's
No.
no doubt about that.
We're not willing to go out and work in this heat. And the people that are, you got to admire them.
We used to be willing to go out and work in that heat. I was one of those kids. I baled hay for my grandfather for years with my cousins, and it used to be a family thing that's what you did.
Yeah.
It's not that way any longer. I know what you're talking about, but there are avenues that we can take to make a difference for our farming community here, because if you look at District 36, it is the 5th largest district in the state of California and one of the largest farming communities left in California as well.
The district, the congressional district.
Exactly.
Which is congressional race number
36.
36 is
Exactly.
it's currently held by Dr. Ruiz.
Exactly.
Yep,
Now it goes from Hemet all the way to Blythe, as
Right.
far south as Anza, as far north as 29 Palms. And when I talk to the farmers in our district, their number one concern is exactly what you just said.
Where am I going to get people to work for me?
Exactly. And we just had another farmer move into the valley who is planting fields of blueberries. So our pickers are going to be
Right.
competing for work all across the valley. Our farmers are going to be competing for work. And there's absolutely no reason why we can't have an adequate worker program, because we have the technology.
All right, now here's where it gets really interesting, and this is why she's sitting here, ladies and gentlemen, because she has a solution to a problem. I will not broadcast anything that ends up with a question mark problem. Tell me about the solution to our legal immigration problem. How do we make the illegal legal and still get the workers we need for the food we like to eat year-round? How are we going to do that? And let's not even talk about the wall, okay? We're going to leave the wall completely out of this.
Right.
I don't think a wall is good for anybody. What I think is really good is what you've come up with.
Well,
so how do we do this?
You've got to realize that we have an entire community of people that want to come here
Yes.
and work legally, and they simply don't have the avenue to do that.
How do you want to do that?
I
Where's your
want to
solution?
do that
Okay.
by using technology that's currently available, that's being used right now in the United States. You've got live scan, you've got
Okay,
retinal
what is
scan.
what does that mean? Live scan? You can put your hand on a
Live
scanner?
Live scan is a scanner that will map your individual
Your whole handprint.
fingerprints, your hands,
Okay.
that nobody else can replace. Nobody. Nobody can come in and claim they're you when they're not.
Okay, so how does this work for the farm worker that wants to come from Mexico or South America, take care of our food needs, and then go back home after they've finished the harvesting season? How do you come across the border and put your hand here, and then what?
Yes. What my idea currently is you come in, you live scan at the border when you enter, and it automatically shows the farm that you're going to, and the farm has the same system there, and you check in when you get there to show that you have arrived. Now you can then pick everything. You can work for that farmer the way that you normally would, and then when it's time for you to go back, you simply live scan out at the farm of which you were picking, and now you have an opportunity to either go back to the border, live scan and show you've gone home, or maybe you're going on to the next farm from the one that you've currently been working at. So when you scan out from the farm that you're currently working at, it automatically shows the next farm you're going to. So there's a way of actually tracking people that want to be here legally, and if you want to be here legally, working legally, you're not afraid to do that live scan. That's an easy thing to do.
Well, it made sense to me, and I'm really low on the intelligence level of trying to understand complex things. So this is easy to understand. We all understand that now you can put your thumbprint on something, your phone or your computer, and it opens up the A-Team.
Exactly.
You go into an airport now and they'll scan your eyes or your hand together. The technology's already there.
The technology's there. I don't know why we're not using it.
Okay.
And it's something that we need to
Have you
utilize.
asked any of our current employees that work for us in any of the elected offices why it's not happening right now?
I have asked.
And?
They don't know.
Okay, have you run any kind of numbers as to how practical this kind of a budget would be for the scanning? Because they can't be that expensive. I mean, they're on phones, for gosh sakes.
Exactly.
You know?
The scanning systems are very reasonable, and it's something that would be a minimal cost to our farmers as well. And the farmers that I talk to in our district, in our valley, are willing to do their part and do their share.
They'd buy the little scanner on their end?
I believe they would. That's what they have told me.
Well,
exactly.
I don't...
And we already have the live scanning with our Border Patrol. So if we have the live scanning here at the Coachella checkpoint, for instance, there's no reason why it's not at other places on the border. So if we actually set up a comprehensive worker program that they want to come in, they want to do their job and they want to go back, and that's how it was for years. We simply took that option away.
I know it was called the Bracero program, I believe, years and years and years ago. When I was born in Palm Springs,
Yes.
I mean, you grow up with what we have here in the East Valley, which is 60,000 acres of the finest agricultural land in the world, the highest producing.
We used to sponsor people coming over from the Azores with the Pelzer program. My family was in farming and ranching in Northern California, and it wasn't when they got rid of the Pelzer program, it put my family out of farming.
Right.
And that's when they moved into ranching.
This is a simple transition from what they're doing now, which is basically nothing but caging children and sending people back across the border. That doesn't do us any good. You've got a solution.
Yeah.
It's called SCAN. And as long as you have a job or maybe a family on the other side that can come in and guarantee you a job of maybe not farming, but some kind of a job,
right.
It seems to me that this SCAN thing on the border, come across, check it out when you get here, go to another job, scan it in, scan it out, you're good to go.
It is potentially that simple, which is why I don't understand we don't have it already. That's something that I definitely want to fight for.
Okay, you believe that as a freshman congressman,
yes,
you can waltz into Washington, use this logic, work with the Border Patrol, work with the senators, everybody across the aisle,
yes,
Republicans and Democrats, and get this system working.
Absolutely.
Well,
I've already started forging relationships, actually.
Okay.
My last few trips back to Washington, telling people about the idea, and they're liking it. They're liking it, and I don't know why they haven't heard it before.
Okay.
I know that they're very busy. They've got a lot on their plate.
Yeah, well,
but I think we need some fresh minds in Washington that are actually taking the voices of the people that they've heard from within their own districts
I think
to try and make a difference.
Coming up with this scanning solution is brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, now let's talk about the other thing that interests me and my audience. let's talk about health care.
Okay.
The best health care day of my life was when I got Medicare.
My husband would agree with you.
Medicare is the finest system for health care. I had to pay, for years, I paid from the time I went into business when I was 26 years old, I ended up paying for my own health care. And I always had a $5,000 deductible. And it was only almost 10 years ago that I had to stop paying that, and I got Medicare. It has worked perfectly for me.
You have always had a $5,000 deductible?
Oh yeah, always. Even
wow.
I couldn't afford it. I was working for myself.
That's hot, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but
high.
now we've got a problem. I understand that because of one of your past lives, you happen to be in the, which union are you in?
I'm in Screen Actors Guild and AFTA.
Okay.
I acted for years and had the benefit of having a union pay for my health care.
So your family...
In a roundabout sort of way, because we pay into that union, mind you.
You
yes,
pay for it.
I pay for it.
You pay
yes.
for it. So your family is now insured, but what solution can you make Medicare as I love it, and everybody over 65 I know that's got it? Do you have a solution to make it for people who aren't 65 yet? Is there a way to? We've already got a system that works. Why are we trying to invent another one?
You just said it brilliantly right there. Why did we try to invent another one? Because we needed to take care of people that didn't have the care that they needed.
I know people on Obamacare. They
Yes.
wouldn't have anything without it. Now,
Yes.
is it the best system in the world?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So how are you going to help us fix it? We're going to hire you to go fix this. How are you going to fix it?
We need to look at things from a business standpoint. I think a lot of decisions are made based off of emotion and not common sense. We as Americans, we're always very charitable and we want to take care of everyone. It's what we want to do. But you have to look at things from a business side as well. And what you just said, is it perfect? No, but you're happy because a lot of people that were not taken care of now are. I agree with you. I think people have the right to be taken care of and have insurance. But we as a government don't have the right to force people to do anything. That I do have a problem with. Healthcare and the government forcing things upon us are completely different, Patty.
I understand. And I don't like being forced to do anything by the government. I totally obey the laws that don't hurt anybody. So you just don't hurt people.
And wouldn't it be nice if we obeyed the laws too?
Yeah,
exactly.
That would be good.
But as a business owner, you've got to understand that before the Affordable Care Act, I paid for 75% of my employees, and they got to pick their plan. And they were happy with their plan because they could tailor it to their age, to their needs. Oh, I just got married, I'm going to need this now or the other.
But you paid them enough that they could afford your health care plan.
Exactly. Well, I paid for 75% of the plan.
Right.
Okay?
So that's affordable.
Exactly.
So how do we fix this? It's a mess out there now.
It's an absolute mess. And when I have my young employees that have to pay, and the other thing with the Affordable Care Act is they didn't tell people that once they got in, if they chose a lower level, they weren't allowed to bump up. That's a problem.
Okay, we have a problem with the current new system, the Obamacare.
Yes, we do.
It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing.
But you know what the Obamacare offers that California is not taking advantage of? It offered states to actually ask for special provisions that they could make as a state and basically tailor the Affordable Care Act to their needs of their state.
Are we doing that in the state of California?
No, we are not.
Well, we've got all these congressmen and
Isn't
these
that
senators.
something?
We got 2 senators and how many congressmen from the state of California, and they haven't come up with a fix?
No, and if you look at the states that are utilizing this, they actually have higher enrollment in healthcare than they did with the original
What's it
Affordable
called?
Care Act.
Is there a special name for what you'd like to do with the Obamacare thing?
It's a provision that is written into the Affordable Care Act where
Right.
states have the right to actually tailor that healthcare plan to their state, and they ask for certain provisions, they ask for certain exemptions, and there are certain states that are utilizing that.
And it costs everybody less?
They're actually getting more people signed up because they get to tailor their health care to their needs.
Okay, because the whole thing behind Obamacare, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the more people that used it, the less it would cost.
Right.
And then there were these barriers came up where you can't make this money, you have to make this much money. If you make this much money, you can't have this. I mean, even middle America can't afford health care insurance now. So what you're telling me is that if
there is a provision within the Affordable Care Act where states can actually try to tailor their needs to the Affordable Care Act, and California is not utilizing that. By state.
Which will individualize it to the needs of the citizens of the state of California, particularly the citizens of our district, that we vote for people like you.
Exactly. But I can tell you this, that for my employees right now, because they don't have that option, they don't have the state of California trying to tailor things for their needs and give them options, they're buying their health care insurance, and then they're paying for their health care too.
Right.
Because they can't afford that $5,000 deductible. Even myself, being in a union, I received a letter stating that next year, it hurts to even say this, my family deductible is going up to $16,000.
Well, they think people in the movie business make a lot of money, so you can obviously afford it, not a big
deal. That's
deal.
what they think. And they also think that business owners are here and their employees are here, and I can tell you that small business owners go without to keep their employees paid when times are rough.
Yes, I know the drill.
We go without.
I know the drill.
Yeah, but you don't hear much about that either.
No, you don't.
No.
I'm there and have been for 27 years.
Okay.
So you've offered us two solutions that I never heard of. And I don't understand how we have hired all these people, these senators, these congressmen, that haven't come up with two of the simplest solutions I've heard out of you.
Well, the live scan issue would be a federal issue. The healthcare one is a state issue.
Doesn't matter. We're paying you to fix it.
That's right. But we need to educate those people to know that there are those options. And I'm happy to help them every way I can.
Now, you have a mindset that you work for us.
Yes.
Okay. You get elected to Congress, you're not going to say, hi, I'm Congresswoman blah, blah. My name is Kimberlin. It'll always be Kimberlin. Thank you very much. I work for you.
Absolutely, I work for you.
Yeah, that's one thing that's always bothered me, that when somebody gets elected, you have to call them senator or supervisor or assembly member. Hey, yo, Eddie, come here. I mean, these are people, these are our friends. These are the people that work and live in our community, and you work for us.
I absolutely do, and that's why I'm running, because I feel the same way you do. I feel as though we haven't been heard, and I'm a listener. That's what I do. You learn far more by listening than you do by talking. And I can tell you that people go to Washington with the best of intentions. They get there and they become their own brand of celebrity. Mm-hmm. They don't want to make that decision that you elected them to make because they don't want to lose their job. I'm actually willing to walk away from an incredibly lucrative career to go and make a difference, because I feel that there aren't enough of us there doing that.
Well, I'm going to make a statement I don't normally make, because I have opinions, of course, because I'm a news commentator, but I earned that. And
Yes.
I would like personally to see more women in our state, federal, and local governments, because no matter where you serve, whether it's school board, college trustee, city council, county office, state, governor, federal, whatever it is, they've lost sight of the fact that they work for us. We're paying you.
Exactly.
And I seem to think that we're forgotten when two simple solutions in less than 30 minutes, and you could save a couple of massive problems here. How'd you get so smart, just being in business all these years and owning all these businesses and employing over 150 people?
You know what? I was blessed to have very powerful women in my life. Mm-hmm. You just brought that up, and I had a single mom who raised me and told me I could do anything I put my mind to. I started selling flowers on a street corner at the age of 13, and I never stopped. And I can tell you that when my grandmother told me, Kimberlin, don't let anyone tell you you can't, I took it to heart. Yeah. I've been surrounded by very strong women my entire life, and there are so many of us out there, but they're afraid to step up to the plate in this political environment. And I need to do what's right for all of us, and that's what I'm going to do, Patty.
Well, all I wanted out of you was solutions. You gave me two very fine solutions. I know there's a lot more that you talk about when you give speeches and everything, but I picked the two things that I felt were doable, that you could go back and fix and get us help with. And did you research these before you decided to run for office and say, look, we can do this. We don't have to be doing it this way. We can actually do it this way. Did you have these ideas coming in before you announced for the congressional seat?
I did not. I came up with these ideas by listening to people in my community and what their problems were. I talked to the farmers and I found out what their needs were, and their needs weren't being taken care of. So I said, we have the technology, why don't we do this? Why aren't we coming up with this? And they're going, oh my gosh, what a great idea, and we could have a machine here.
You found a solution.
It's not rocket scientist stuff, it's common sense. People are making decisions based off of emotion these days and not common sense. As a business owner, I never had a good decision come out of emotion that helped my company. They had to be common sense solutions, and that's what we want.
You can feel and almost hear the echoes of time that hold the battles fought by the men and women who defended America during World War II. The Palm Springs Air Museum offers us the opportunity to touch history, hear the roar of the engines that powered America's armed forces into the age of combat flight. As a modern-day soldier walking through the history of this bygone war, I have come to realize that soldiers, such as myself, serve and fight under far different circumstances. Today, our families have peace of mind, unimagined by those back home during World War II. We have the gift of communications. Following battles that threaten our lives every day, we are able to call, email, or text home. Unless you have been there as a soldier or the family of a soldier, it is hard to imagine the importance of this contact. We also have, by comparison, relatively short tours of duty. I think of what it must have been like for the soldiers that flew these planes, drove the tanks and marched the fields of battle, to be away from home continuously for years, often with little or no communication for months at a time. Letters, a handwritten letter, placed in an envelope, had to travel by land, sea, and air. Nothing was instant. Following the news of a major battle where thousands of men were killed in action, families waited in anguish to hear if their loved one was still alive. The only message received following the days or weeks of a battle was when a government car drove up to the home of a soldier and announced that he had died. When no service personnel were available due to the overwhelming number of those killed in action, the news was delivered by telegram. Bodies of dead soldiers came home following weeks, months, or years. Many have yet to come home. As a combat wounded veteran who served and fought in Afghanistan, I am more than lucky and ever so grateful. I have returned home to my wife and 2 little daughters. I'm going to work and wake up every morning knowing that I can support my family and support my fellow Purple Heart veterans. And for those soldiers who died in battle, their families hold their hearts. As I continue to serve them in any way I can, as commander of the Palm Springs Military Order of the Purple Heart, chapter number 755, named in honor of my friend who fought and died in Iraq, Private First Class Ming Sun. I am Justin Gardner, and I served.